First of all, my name is Michael Balaker. I'm with the PGA Tour Communications team. Just want to welcome you all here to the Concession Golf Club. So I think 2 weeks from today, we'll be having the first guys teeing off in the first round of this World Golf Championships event. So it's hard to believe it's how far we've come here in the matter of a couple of months. But there are a lot of people who involved in bringing this event to life here in Bradenton, Sarasota, and we're looking forward to a great event. So pleased to be joined by several of our awesome panelists here. Just starting to my right, Ty Votaw, the Executive Vice President of International for the PGA Tour. Next we have Bruce Cassidy, who's the President here at the Concession Golf Club. Elliot Falcioni is the Executive Director of Bradenton CVB. Ms. Virginia Haley, President of Visit Sarasota County. And then Paul Azinger, from NBC Sports, 12-time PGA Tour winner and a member here at Concession. He'll be a part of the broadcast team here for the World Golf Championships event. So pleased to have him here with us this morning. Ty, I'll start with you. Great. Obviously here at Concession for this World Golf Championships under very, very unique circumstances. Just tell us briefly how we got here.
Well, as you may have followed the situation that's developing in Mexico City, the pandemic unfortunately prevented us from returning to Mexico City. We'd had 4 very successful stagings of the WGC Mexico Championship, but the circumstances and the conditions that are there this year prevented us from being able to go back, and so that we found that out in mid-December, and we had some experience with creating opportunities in last fall for our events that were originally scheduled to be played in Korea and in Japan, and moving them to Las Vegas and Los Angeles. And so with the situation in Mexico, we set about trying to find solutions on whether we could do the same kind of thing here and bringing an event outside the United States into the United States. And so we had been following Concession since the 2015 NCAA Championships, and we'd had a number of people approach us recommending the Concession and in the support of Bruce and his team, and so we started a dialogue. And I can't, on behalf of the PGA Tour, I cannot thank Bruce and his team enough for being open to the idea, recognizing the limitations that we had with the shortness of time that we had to make this happen. Paul was one of the people who recommended and said great things about the Concession, and so we set about a set of conversations. We had our team visit here, and
I think for some who may be unfamiliar, this event is one of the 4 annual World Golf Championships. I think just to educate people a little more,
sure,
or provide some insight on how this collection of events differ from your standard PGA Tour event.
Well, the World Golf Championships as a brand and as a series of events started in 1999. Traditionally have 4 a year that really, in terms of quality of field and the accomplishments of the players who have won WGCs since 1999, have really put the WGCs in a place, just below that of the major championships, the Players' Championship. Limited fields, significant prize money, elevated FedEx Cup points, no cut events. Over the past 4 or 5 years, this event, whether it was held at Doral prior to us coming to Mexico City, or the 4 years in Mexico City, have averaged, I think, 45 of the top 50 players in the world. And so I know that bringing the event here to Bradenton, certainly the support of Bradenton CVB and Visit Sarasota are factors in us coming here, but from our players' perspective, and players from around the world who are going to be coming here, because each tour around the world also sanctions the WGCs, whether it's the Asian Tour, the European Tour, Australia, South Africa, Japan. And so there are going to be players coming from those tours to play in these events, or this event, in a couple of weeks. And so it's one that players support, but having the ability to have 4 straight weeks in Florida now with this event, this is a part of Florida that we have not been in. We're well represented on the East Coast. We have certainly the Valspar Championship in Tampa, St. Pete, but being in this part of Florida is something I know the players are looking forward to.
Thank you, Ty. And Bruce, I just want to hear from you. Why did you and your team feel called to bring this event to here at the concession?
Well, first of all, since the NCAAs in 15, we were looking for a big event, a tour event, more of a one-off situation. Although I appreciate the annual events, but we weren't looking for that. We wanted something that at this level, which the WGC, in my opinion, is like one-click below major. So we were very excited about that. So we were had the first conversations. It wasn't a matter of if we wanted to do it, it was how we're going to do it. And one of my concerns was we only had about 6 weeks, and we wanted to make sure the golf course was pristine for the tour and to show off the area and the community. So we got on that immediately. Before we had the deal agreed to, we already had our contractor out here working on our bunkers. And so those just about completed now. You can see behind me the golf course is showing very beautiful. We're very excited about it. And literally within a couple of days after I had a conversation with Ty, reached out to Elliot, and he brought everybody in the community together. We had a meeting in our conference room, and they were just like kind of sort of like I was. It's like, what do we have to do? What do we have to do to get this done? And literally between Manatee, Bradenton, Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, it certainly made it much easier. And even in meetings with the tour, some of the Ty's staff was here and made a comment afterwards. They've never worked with a community this easy to work with before. So everything is just falling together for us, and we're extremely excited about it.
And you mentioned the 2015 NCAAs that were here. I think that gave everybody, fans around the world, a first glimpse, a concession. And I know that was definitely provided a challenge for a lot of the guys. And yes. Bryson DeChambeau won the individual title. Where do you see this golf course challenging some of the best players in the world here in a couple of weeks?
Well, I'd say a few things about the Concession Golf Club. One, it's a strategic course, meaning that you really have to think about where you want to hit it, what club you want to hit. It's not always bombs away, although these guys are capable of that. So I think you need to be strategically, and the most challenging piece is green complexes. A lot of undulations in the greens. If you miss on the wrong side, you can go from maybe thinking about a birdie or a par made to a double pretty quickly if you're not careful. So I think that'll be it.
Is there, we mentioned Bryson having won here. Is there a favorite in your mind, giving a certain ability or a strength that you absolutely must have around here?
Yeah, I thought a little bit about that, and there's a few, but number one, I think just he's playing so strong and his game's so complete right now is Dustin Johnson. Not just because he's the number one guy in the world, but if you look at what he's done the past few years, and with the green complex of stuff we had, his chipping and putting is really good.
Love it. So, Elliot, I just want to hear from you, just from the local side. The Bradenton, Sarasota area has been, it's going to become a hot spot here in the golf world for a couple of weeks. Across the street, we're going to have the Corn Ferry Tours Lecom Suncoast Classic over at Lakewood National, and then obviously finishing here with the WGC. What does that say about the level of golf venues available in this area?
Incredible opportunity. We always knew that Lecom event, the Invitational, would plant a seed for future opportunities. And we've been looking regionally on how we can bring tourism awareness to East County, specifically Lakewood Ranch, the way it's growing, 35,000 acre master plan development, #1 in the country. How do we showcase that? To be able to be on this global platform, literally with 46 days notice, if that doesn't get your blood flowing, you're in the wrong business. And it's special. Like Bruce said, we're only here because of the resources that we have, the partnerships that we have. I have to acknowledge Commissioner Vanessa Baugh in the audience, our board chair, also district commissioner, where we're sitting, our TDC chair, Commissioner Misty Servia. They have empowered us to jump on trains of opportunity like this. And that's how we can differ from many other governments around the country. We need to seize the moments to be able to work side by side with a guy like Bruce Cassidy. And by the way, we're all kind of Western PA guys right here. So how cool is that? With his experience and his success in his lifetime, to be able to combine his resources with ours puts us in a position like this. And from a tourism standpoint, of course, we have the beautiful beaches of Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key, the arts and culture and meeting space in the urban core, this is now the place where we can actually not only drive domestic visitors, but international visitors. The Germans love golf, and they would come here because they're going to see us on a global platform, 800 million households globally during that 3-4 day period. So we're ready to ramp it up. We want to be different from the norm. We want to run a first-class operation that Bruce already has, so the players, the spectators, and the people watching say, I got to go to that Bradenton, Sarasota region to play golf, number one, and oh my gosh, they have some of the most beautiful beaches in the world.
I love it. That's perfect. Hi, Virginia. So Virginia from Visit Sarasota. I think it's obvious that since the pandemic began, we've seen a significant interest in uptick in golf, and is that a trend that you personally have noticed locally? And I guess how do you see this tournament continuing to make an impact on that?
Very much so. We're seeing a huge impact both in visitors playing golf and obviously our local residents. And it really ties into our history. I mean, you go back to the Scotsman, John Hamilton Gillespie, came here with his clubs. Sarasota wasn't even a platted community yet. And in 1886, he built 2 practice holes in what is now downtown Sarasota. And he had a firm belief that tourism in Sarasota, in Bradenton, would be tied to the promotion of golf. And so, you look now, we have probably 70 golf courses in our region, this being the jewel. But I feel like today we have realized Mayor Gillespie, Florida's golfing mayor, his dream for our region. And this is going to definitely put us on the map as a golfing destination worldwide.
That's great. And I think it's safe to say, the arrival of this tournament, just, to Bradenton, Sarasota in general, is really just, I guess, the latest of many professional sports accomplishments in this area of the state. That's right. I guess, how do you, and I guess, Elliot, you could probably answer this too, but how do you all see that potentially paying dividends down the road?
Well, you see in our reference to having the NCAA golf here, these events that, particularly over the last 5 years, that we've built up the national, international events that we have in our area. And it seems that every time we host one, another one comes because we hosted that. You see that parallel over and over. The under 18 World Baseball Championships came about during the time we were hosting the World Rowing Championships.
We were just talking about it yesterday. We are so blessed. We started off in 2017 with World Rowing Championship. Now the U18 World Baseball Championship in September. What's strange is both of those events are came back and are coming back to the United States for the first time since 1995. I don't know what happened in 1995 and since then, but both of those events have come and will be here. We're hosting the World Cornhole Championship. Our good friend John Saputo brought us that lead, and that's going to be in July. We've hosted 2 years World's Strongest Man competition that was globally televised as well. This is the icing on the cake. We cannot have the mindset, like Virginia said, of, Ty, nice to meet you. Let's get this event done. Let's go with the norm and see you, 10 years from now. We are here to build a future with Ty and his team, and our objective is his team comes to Ty and say, there's no better people in the United States to deal with than this region. Because that's how it works. We're not in a brain surgery business. We are about relationship building. We're about offering opportunities and backing them up through sweat equity and exceeding their expectations. And I know we'll get there because we are surrounded by a lot of talent that'll continue to grow business in this community, that'll ultimately continue to have people buy real estate and move business in one of the best areas in Florida.
Well said. Thank you.
Can you
Thank
see
both.
why he has the job he has?
I think that's been made very clear. All right. Well, last but not least, Paul, it's great to have you here. Someone who's been around this area for a while and knows this golf course inside and out. I'm just curious to get your initial reaction when you heard the news that this WGC was coming to concession.
Well, I was thrilled. It's a long way to Mexico City from Bradenton, Florida, I can tell you, to get to stay here. I think Gary Koch and I are doing backflips in that regard. I hardly know where to start. I've been here a long time. I appreciate Virginia and Elliott so much. Bruce, Tyvo, I know you guys worked hard to get this done. I grew up here, so I've been here since before the interstate, before I-75 existed, before University Parkway was a road. There was no Lakewood Ranch. And when someone asks me about this area and the amount that it's grown, the millions that have come here, I always have a big smile on my face about it because everything here seems so nice and seems to have been done right. It's a nice area. There's a bunch of Bobby Jones courses here. The part of the Bobby Jones Trail, I think, the Bradenton Country Club was built in 1924. Sarah Bay was built in 1926. The city owns Bobby Jones, which is a nightmare for us now because the grass is this high on it and it's kind of gotten political. But that's an old Donald Ross course that I think the city is addressing and going to probably try to restore that back to its original, hopefully. But, in the 70s, when I was kind of cutting my teeth, there were plenty of good courses around here, but the greens were never tour quality. And it really wasn't until Bruce built the concession and brought the superintendent, Terry Connelly, in here, that I started to believe that this region could really produce killer greens. There was a couple courses that in the area that could get their greens kind of fast, but this really set the standard, I think, for the area and all the superintendents, and then suddenly, as you say, this has become quite a great golf destination. It's hard for me to want to tell the whole world to come here, because it's already pretty crowded. The beaches are incredible. So, I might point out all the negatives so that it doesn't turn into a disaster. But I won't.
No.
Hey, when you bring the World Dart Championship and the World Foosball Championship, then you've covered all the bases. I'm really just thrilled. I can't believe that the best players on the planet are coming here. I think everyone that's ever played the concession, all the locals, all the folks from this area, cannot wait to see what kind of scores they're going to shoot here. I mean, we're all of the impression that it's virtually impossible to shoot a great score at this golf course. There have been some low ones, a few 65s and 4s and stuff, and maybe a 63 somewhere along the line. But I believe there'll be a big gap between the winners and the guys that play really poorly. It's the kind of golf course that will eat your lunch. It's a great second shot course. Jack Nicklaus and Tony Jacklin came in here and built this concession golf course as a tribute to the great sportsmanship, displayed by Tony Jacklin by Jack to Tony in 1969. But I believe that Jack really takes into consideration the possibility that the greats will play all his courses at some point in time. And he did that here. The average player can get around here and probably enjoy himself, but the greats are going to be tested. I think in the survey, when we did this with NBC a few weeks ago, I looked at this golf course from Bryson DeChambeau's carry distance, and I saw a different golf course, from Rory's carry distance or Dustin Johnson's carry distance. And quite frankly, I think if the wind doesn't blow, they're going to shoot some pretty good scores here. But I sure can't wait to see it. I'm probably close to 600 over par since I joined here. Not exaggerating. It's a phenomenal place. It'll be a great test, and it'll be in tremendous shape. And we're really, really lucky to have it. I mean, we're talking about the finest players on the planet. And that's just all there is to it. They're coming to Bradenton, and they're going to try to take on this golf course. So it's a pile of money at stake. What's first and last? I don't know if that's something that the tour even gives out anymore.
It's a $10.5 million person, and whoever wins is
18%.
going to
is
make a
first.
lot of money, and whoever finishes last will make some money.
Yeah, so if anybody doesn't show up in the top however many there is, then they're either really hurt or really rich. That's the way I look at it.
Well, Paul, just keeping your golf analyst hat on there. I mean, obviously there are no ticketed spectators here, which is unfortunate. We'll have some limited guests around, but for those watching on television, I guess what aspects of this course do you think will really pop for just the regular viewer?
There's going to be a tremendous contrast between the white sand and the green grass here. There's a lot of nice edges in the bunkers, and NBC is definitely going to bring the airplane in for this event, so there'll be a lot of aerials of the golf course. It's a beautiful sight from the sky. If you look at your whatever that is on your map, GPS map, you can really zoom in on this place and see all the sharp edges. There's going to be a lot of really cool things happening with the golf ball when it hits the green. Tommy Roy set up a speed shot over here on 17, similar to one on 18 last week. Instead of doing a shot tracer from behind on 18, Tommy wanted a speed shot from way to the right. So when the ball left, the cameraman followed the ball, but the viewer didn't know if it was in the water, in the bunker, or what. Well, they're going to do that on 17 here, which will be a really cool shot. And it was just fun to go around with the broadcast team and look at how they were going to set it up. In the excitement, Tommy Roy's been doing it now for a long time. He's won 32 Emmys. He knows what he's doing. And he was thrilled at the appearance of the golf course, and they just really lock in on getting the camera angles that are going to look the best for television. It was a real eye-opener for me to see how they survey the course, they call it. I just think it's going to look spectacular. There's a lot going on in this area, a lot of growth, and the airplane will pick up most of it.
And just finally, just some of your takeaways on tour this season, and kind of what you've noticed and what stuck out to you just from a competition standpoint, and I guess what storylines are appealing to you as we approach this event.
I think just the fact that we're going to have all the hottest, best players. Xander's coming here. I don't know if Spieth is in it. I think
he's close. He's got a little work to do.
Okay, so he's got work to do, but I imagine Rory's here. I know Rahm's coming, and Dustin Johnson, and these are all the best of the best. This is the cream of the crop showing up, and generally the cream rises to the top. There's something's going to separate the milk from the cream, and generally it's the shots that these guys play, and the superstars. You know what? This area is getting to see all the players that are going to be at the Masters and going to be at the Players Championship. They're all going to be in Bradenton, the best. So my manager asked me the other day how many tickets. I said, I want 100 tickets. I said, I really do want 100 tickets because, you just want everyone to see it. You want everyone to see this place. It's very unique, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Perfect.
Michael, can I mention one
Yes,
thing?
absolutely.
My commissioner from Sarasota County, Christian Ziegler, is here. And again, he is emblematic of jumping on opportunities, promoting this area, really being creative in what we do. And I just want to thank you for your support.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, anybody have any questions?
We're all experiencing varying degrees of the pandemic in this country, but we've been able to, since June of last year, successfully return to golf on our tour, and some with fans on a couple of occasions. We had fans at Phoenix last week. We had fans in Houston in the fall. We're not going to have fans in California for the next 2 weeks based on what the circumstances are there. But starting here, we felt we had a short time frame to deal with, and that time frame prevented us from an economic perspective and from an infrastructure perspective, build out this facility in such a way that would allow more than just some select, probably about 1,000 people a day will be coming out here, and we'd love to have more people. The circumstances of 46 days prevented us from doing that. But our players are comfortable in returning to golf, and the fact that they're able to come from Los Angeles the week before to 4 straight weeks in Florida enabled us to make this happen. Again, with the support of great people like Bruce and Elliot and Virginia, and commissioners like you two. there are a limited number of tickets that are reserved for members of the concession and their guests, and select other guests of sponsors and of the PGA Tour. Every fan will be expected to wear a mask while they're here. It's the three W's.
Yep.
Wear a mask, watch your distance, and wash your hands. And so every fan will be expected to adhere to those requirements while they're, I mean, obviously if you're drinking a beer or eating a sandwich, you're not going to have a mask on, but we would ask that if you do that, do it away from the rope line of players, et cetera. But at the end of the day, we think this is going to be the first week of, I think from here on out, that with maybe from limited exceptions, that we'll have fans at PGA Tour events.
The Donald Ross courses, the Joe Lee courses in the area, there's some Ted McCandless courses in the area that are all phenomenal, but on scale, this is just on a bigger scale. That's all. You know, the distance issue is really, you know, golf in the 50s and 70s and 90s, and now it's always been played on a larger scale as time goes on, and it'll continue probably. But this is just a big, beautiful course. It's always in tremendous shape, and that's a part of it. I think, you know, if you have great greens, you'll always have a good golf course. That's just a simple fact.
In terms of, well, it's a 78-player field. They're caddies, families, the NBC crew that will come out, our operational staff, players from around the world from the other tours that I mentioned earlier. There's going to be, you know, at least a couple from each of those tours. The European Tour has a few more than the others, and so, you know, it's a world, and it's going to be televised around the world to close to a billion households, and so that's going to showcase the Bradenton and Bradenton and Sarasota area as well.
New dollars will flow into the community during that time. It's actually started now. Like Ty had mentioned, the value is the TV awareness globally. 800 million households with a viewership demographic that aligns with our target market. So it's going to create an intrigue. It's going to create pent-up demand that I got to come to this area. Gosh, I wish I can play at this course. And other courses on the fringe will benefit as well. That's the big value. Moving beyond COVID, with Bruce's relationship with the PGA, this is a seed on steroids, bad word, steroids, that for future business, that'll create a crowd of a normal year. You're probably looking at 30 to 50,000 spectators in a normal year.
That's right. The ingredients that go into how an event comes to a particular location varies from tournament to tournament. It relates to sponsorship. It relates to geographic flow of where the tour is the week before, the week after. It relates to having champions for the event like Bruce and Elliott and Virginia in the area. All of those things kind of conspire to. We've had a great exposure for the PGA, or great presence of the PGA Tour across Florida. We just haven't been to this part of Florida as a PGA Tour sanctioned event. Obviously, the Korn Ferry event would have happened regardless of this event happening. We were excited about bringing Korn Ferry here. And whether we can bring a Champions event, whether we can bring another unique event and a unique opportunity like this is going to depend on those ingredients coming together and those moons and stars aligning. Fortunately, we have a full schedule, full sponsorship. Openings don't happen very often, but when they do, I know the experience that our team and our players will experience the week of the tournament will create a very nice optionality for us going forward. And if it makes sense for Bruce, we'd love to come back.
Well, I think ending on that positive note makes sense. Thank you all so much for being here. We will set a few minutes aside if anyone wanted to grab just a brief one-on-one with any of our panelists. We'll make that available. Just come find me, and we can coordinate that socially distanced, of course. And then for anyone who signed up to play the par 3 course, the club has graciously opened that up for us and anybody to use. So you're welcome to go grab your clubs and head out there. It's just a short walk down the down the hill. And then the transcript from today's discussion will also be available. We'll make that available to you shortly after we all leave here today. So just be on the lookout for that. Thank you all.
Hi, Vanessa. It's so wonderful to see you today. We are out at the concessions way out east in Manatee County, and this is a huge deal. The World Championship of Golf is coming to Manatee County. Isn't that incredible?
It is so incredible, and it just doesn't get better than this. It's I don't even hardly know the word to use, for our community to be involved in this, and it's just, you know what, it's going to put us on the map, isn't it? Certainly. And the funny thing is, I can tell you the concession is such a beautiful golf course. I have played this course. It's tough, but it's beautiful. And I was just talking to some others. The interesting thing about this golf course that you don't generally see is most professional golf courses like this, you have homes along the course. This one you do not. You feel like you're in the woods the whole time. It's just a wonderful setting, and yet you really have to concentrate on your game. So to be bringing the best of the golfers in the world here to play really just shows how wonderful it is. What a great experience it's going to be.
Now, there's going to be over 800 million people watching this event worldwide. What kind of impact is that going to bring to our community?
It's going to be huge. I mean, there's no way to get around it. People are going to be coming to visit here. Most times when you do come to visit this area, if you never have before, you want to live here. That happened to me back in the 90s. That's how I ended up here myself. We are going to see a huge, the tourism will probably pick up tenfold from it.
And we love that and we hate that.
I know. That's very true. Very true. You do. And but the bottom line is if you talk to the majority of people that live here today and you ask them how they, were you born here? The majority say no. What brought you here? It's always the same. It's such a beautiful place. The weather's wonderful. The golf courses are the best of the best. The beaches are the greatest. So
it's the amenities.
It is. It's a wonderful place.
It is.
Wonderful place.
So this event is not going to be open to the public. So there's not going to be a direct impact on the tourism per se during the event, but it's going to be the tidal wave afterwards that's really going to put Manatee County and Sarasota on the map.
That's exactly what it's going to do. And you're right. I know I myself am a little disappointed that this is not open to the public, but with COVID, I understand why. Plus, this was done so quickly, to put it together here. So you're right. It's not going to have the effect this time that it will in the future. But the tourists will come, and a lot of them will end up building here and moving here. So that is what happens.
With that being said, this area is in a tremendous housing boom as it is. Inventory is very low and demand is very high for great reason.
I hear it every day, and you either like it or you don't. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is you can't stop people from coming here. You just can't. Mm-hmm. And Florida is a property rights state. So the bottom line is we need to make sure with the people that are coming here that we have the best of the best. I think you probably know, I have been pushing very, very hard for infrastructure in our budget in Manatee County. I know Sarasota's doing the same. So I think what you're going to find is that we'll end up working more together regionally, because really we are a region now. It's not the little town of Bradenton anymore or the little town of Sarasota. We are a region. So you will see us all working together to try and solve some of the issues that we have.
A very beautiful, desirable area.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just thank you guys for being here today and sharing this experience, and I'm hoping you might even be here for the tournament. I'm going to try, I can tell you that. So
we wouldn't miss it.
No.
Vanessa, as the chairwoman of the county, tell me a little bit about how you see that the long-term runway impact of this event, and it's going to definitely raise some eyebrows to the area of other events. Where do you see that going in the future?
Well, it's so interesting. If you look at Manatee County and Sarasota, I'll include both. A few years back we had World Rowing. Now we're getting more and more rowing events. I mean, as we bring people here and they see, and we have some great golf tournaments here already, but we're going to see more. The people that put these events together are, the PGA and they're going to see that this is a wonderful, beautiful place. So you can rest assured we're going to get even more golf tournaments come our way, and we'll be ready. I mean, that's the main thing. You hear so often about infrastructure, having to make sure that we're shovel ready. Well, you know what? This shows. To be able to put this event together so quickly.
And it just fell in the laps.
It did. But it shows that Manatee County is ready.
Oh,
so you're going to see more and more. It's going to open up avenues that we haven't even thought of yet.
The facilities and the opportunities and where these events can be held. Lakewood Ranch, we have the beautiful it's IMG. I'm sorry, that was lapsing my brain for a second. IMG is out in Bradenton as well.
Yes.
They have a beautiful, huge facility out there.
Yes, they do. IMG is certainly such a star in Manatee County. We're very fortunate to have IMG. And I think when you look, you hear so often about, well, we have this, we have the beaches in West Bradenton, but then look, and you have such a sports arena out east. And IMG is a major part of that. If you look at Premier Sports, we're getting more and more tournaments there from all over the world, actually. So that has developed because once you get one in, the rest see it and it grows.
And it's the middle of February.
I know.
And it is glorious weather. All the more reason for, events from all over the world to be held here because we have beautiful weather year round.
You can't beat our weather. Isn't that the truth? I mean, where else in the United States would you really think about going for a golf tournament in the winter?
Florida.
We have it. Florida. We've got the sunshine and we're ready. So
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for helping our community and just being the tremendous backing that we need.
Well, I really appreciate it, and thank you for all you guys do as well. We work together well.
All right, now let's go hit those links.
Let's go.
I'm here with Misty Servia, Manatee County Commissioner, and also the chairperson of the TDC. That's the Tourism Development Council, correct?
That's correct, yes. Second year in a row.
Misty, you must be so excited because this event just kind of happened to come together very quickly over the last couple of weeks.
It is such an opportunity. And when our staff was given 46 days notice and said, can you pull it off? And they said, absolutely. And that's who we work with. Elliot and his team are just fantastic. My TDC board was so excited to make the donation of money that it took for this partial sponsorship. We put in $250,000. Sarasota County matched that, $250,000. And with the other sponsors, I think there was $1 million total that came to make this event happen.
Huge amount of funding to bring this event here, but the widespread advocacy for this community is just going to be tremendous. It's going to be shown globally to over 800 million people. That's almost 1 billion people are going to know about Sarasota, Manatee counties.
It is a crazy number of people that are going to see this beautiful community that we live in, right? Almost 1 billion households with the best golfers in the world, the most beautiful golf course that I've ever seen. And they're going to see Manatee County, they're going to see the city of Bradenton, they're going to see our fantastic airport and how easy it is to fly into Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. And we just have a lot to offer here. And so it's a real boost for tourism.
Well, we have the infrastructure as far as the hotels and the beaches and all the arts and the restaurants. It's something that we really pride ourselves on in Manatee County.
Oh, we do. We've got it all here. And it was funny during the interview panel discussion that somebody said, I think I'm going to talk about the bad things around here, which there aren't many. But when people know about the Bradenton, Sarasota area, they want to come here. So this is going to be a great, great viewing for that.
It's losing a little bit of the sleepy town and coming, 2021, all these big events. They mentioned today that there's the LECOM Invitational, which is just right down the street. These bigger events just keep coming to the Sarasota Manatee area.
Well, you know, our Bradenton Area Economic Development Corporation saw that and knew that sports industry was going to be huge for this area, mostly because of our weather, right? Yeah. And it has been. I mean, we are the place for all sports, even cornhole.
Pick a sport.
Pick it. We've done it. We're doing it here. Yes.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Misty, and we will definitely catch up with you alongside of the course at the end of the month.
Yes, I'll be here for the invitational, so thank you. I'll see you then.
All right,
bye.
See you. I'm here with Elliot from the Bradenton Area Convention Center. Elliot, tell me a little bit about how this event really came together so quickly in the last couple of weeks.
Relationships. We've had a relationship with the PGA for about 5 years. The LECOM Invitational at National Lakewood Ranch has been taking place. It's actually this weekend, and a strong relationship with Bruce Cassidy of the concession. And with that, they gave us a call and said, we have an incredible opportunity that's coming at us in 46 days. Wow. Can you be part of the team? And that does nothing more than get my blood flowing, because we get excited about utilizing our resources quickly for the greater good, and at the same time do something different that nobody's ever done before. So we're truly blessed at this opportunity.
Let's talk a little bit about those resources that you called on to pull this event together. Who was the first phone call that you were like, okay, let's get this ball rolling?
My colleagues with the government, the people that handle public safety, the sheriff's department, the permit department, the executive team at Lakewood Ranch. They've been a big help through this process. And then our public relations team, not only nationally but globally. We have a third-party office in London, a third-party office in Frankfurt, because the Europeans love golf, and they come leaps and bounds to the Bradenton area each year. So we know that this will be just another opportunity for them to come and see golf while they're vacationing here at the beautiful white sand beaches of Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key.
This is such a wonderful opportunity to see behind, this course, because it's a private course, members only. So the public is really going to get such a special peek here at the concessions, and is really going to drive tourism to the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Me coming from Pittsburgh, playing at Oakmont, one of the toughest courses you'll find in the world, we're really excited to get the feedback from the players. You'll have the top 72 players in the world participate here. There's been a lot of dialogue of the winning golfer. Are they going to be 5 under? Are they going to be 8 under? So it's going to be really, really excited. But that's the kind of thing that I think really the golf enthusiast that resonates, is to see a course like the concession for the first time on TV. And we know it's not an if, it's a when. With Bruce Cassidy's creativity and his relationships, we're going to work hard with him to continue to do PGA caliber tournaments here, where the crowd can come out. In a normal year, this event would probably bring close to 50,000 spectators.
And this year is a little bit differently because of the pandemic and all of the safety precautions. This is not a ticketed general admission event.
Yes, absolutely. The PGA is going to err on the side of caution. Everybody who comes here to view will have to wear masks. They'll have to have distancing as well. And it's going to be fine. It's been really successful. The tour's been going around with no problems at all. Florida is a user-friendly state when it comes to COVID guidelines, and I attribute that to the hard work of the governor in the state of Florida and our local counties as well. So we're open for business, and business is coming at us leaps and bounds. And this is about the 6th world event that we've hosted in the past 5 years. For a small region like Bradenton, Sarasota, it makes it awfully special and couldn't be done without the great partners that we have.
Well, we certainly have world-class facilities out here in Manatee County.
Oh, absolutely. And, we've been looking for a large event for Lakewood Ranch. As I mentioned, it's a 35,000 master plan development, #1 fastest growing master plan development in the United States. And Rex Jensen had the vision to build premier sports campus after the real estate crash. And that started bringing visitors to Lakewood Ranch. To be able to add this just enhances that leaps and bounds. And now this will help give us more balance from the leisure vacations out on the islands to the urban core of the arts and culture of Bradenton and Palmetto, and now sports like golf, elite demographic that'll come in that we know they'll convert to real estate owners or business owners or both.
Certainly a lot of beautiful amenities here in Bradenton, and also places to live, work, and play.
Oh, absolutely. And when you add Sarasota Bradenton International Airport is once again the #1 fastest growing airport in the country. There's nothing better. It's 1/2 hour from where we're standing right now. I call it a country club airport around the globe. And then you have the international flights coming into Tampa. All the amenities are there to service this area. It makes my job really easy.
So it's been mentioned that the last 4 years were played down in Mexico City, and because of the pandemic, it has moved obviously to this area. How do you forecast and kind of vision maybe this event coming back year after year, and maybe solidifying the contract to have it here?
Well, we control the controllables. And the best thing that we can do as a staff, as a region, is to work hard to showcase the brand of the PGA, to work hard to showcase the brand of the concession, and prove to them that what we say we do and then some. And I know in my heart that the PGA and the concession are going to be very happy with our sweat equity and equity that's going to want them to do business in the future. Whether it's a future World Golf Championship event or a different PGA event, we believe that there's a future sooner than later here that is going to continue to enhance our region as a viable golf destination.
Well, I can't wait to see in just a few short weeks what the event actually looks like at the end of the month. Wonderful. Thank you, Elliot, for putting this event together, and everybody, working so hard to execute this event.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here.